What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
It is hard to believe that the final day of competition from the 2024 Paris Olympic Games this summer has come to a close, but we're here to talk all about it. This is Light the Flame and Olympics podcast with myself, KB, Casey, and Stephen McAvoy.
Woo-hoo.
Now, let's get into the recap. It is nuts that this Olympics has come to a close already. It feels like it just started yesterday, but we are here to break down everything that you should know and take away from day 16 and the final day of competition at the Paris Olympic Games. The 2024 games have now come to a close with another dominant victory in terms of dynasty, and they escaped by 1 foot, if you will.
Yeah.
Team USA women's basketball as they take down France, just like the men's. We were just talking before we started recording about a wild marathon accomplishment and a whole lot more to get into. But let's start with basketball as the women's team top France to stay perfect. And Nike puts out a brilliant ad where they just talk about how everyone else is just competing for second place. And the women's basketball top France 67-66. That came down to the final seconds of the game and a foot being on the line to not force overtime. It looked like Gabby Williams tied it, but her foot was on the line, and that allowed USA to walk away with a 1-point victory. Casey and I have talked about this a ton, Steve, but at some point in their WNBA careers, we need Asia Wilson and Breanna Stewart to play together because it's just absolutely ridiculous, the chemistry that those two share. Mm-hmm. But Casey, the pride of North Philly, as she says, Kalia Cooper, came through in the fourth quarter as well. She's Olympic champion, and she said, "Treat me as such" on Twitter. She finished with 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. And Asia Wilson finished with a double-double, 21 points and 13 rebounds. What a year Asia Wilson has had for herself. Not only the gold medal, she gets named a cover athlete for 2K. She signed a massive deal, I think, with Gatorade this offseason as well. She has had like the 2024 to remember for women's basketball.
Yeah, celebrating her birthday, winning a gold medal. Yeah, and how old is she? She's only 28.
Yeah. Insane.
She's unreal. I've never watched much women's basketball until this past year with the blow up of women's college basketball and stuff, but that game, I was standing at one point because I was like, what's going to happen? I was worried.
But yeah, I want to pull up, like, it has been like the summer of Asia Wilson, and the way that she just like put this team on her back was unbelievable to watch. And they the broadcast also asked her to describe Kalia Cooper in one word. She gave 2 and said, "That bitch."
Deadpans looked at the camera.
I love how the Olympic coverage has gotten so utterly out of pocket, but like everybody, no one gives a rat's ass what everybody says at this point. And you know what? Honestly, like everyone's here for it. Like we're the only country in the world that has these like uber censored vulgarity blocks. If it isn't like for children's television, the whole world was like, I'm totally here for it. I'm not sure if you saw it. There was the Canadian coverage of the women's golf event, and Brooke Henderson hit a shot like 3 feet. And the Canadian commentator, like locally, goes, "You know, she's so fucking fired up." And I'm like, yes,
yeah, that's the coverage I want.
Yes.
And again, to divert here and talk about Asia Wilson, you're right. The year of her has been absolutely impeccable. And this team, to be quite honest with you, of the 8 minutes that I was able to finally catch towards the back end of this game, it was probably the sloppiest game the women's national team has played the entirety of the year. And that's saying something, considering they have been on an absolute tear, and all of a sudden they choose to come into this. And to be quite honest, you didn't really even deserve to win. They finished with 19 turnovers, were only 19 of 56 from the floor. That's their worst shooting percentage in 3 years. In 3 Olympics as a national team. But A'ja Wilson, as the USA Today headlines literally say, dragged them to the finish line to get over the French. And the only person who's more happy that the French lost twice in basketball than anybody who was on those teams is Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
The U.S. will leave Paris with a 61-game Olympic win streak in women's basketball. The last time the U.S. women lost in the Olympics was to the United team in the semifinal of the 1992 Barcelona Olympics.
Did you see the stats? I was like, if you're under the age of 32, you've never seen them lose.
That's
wild.
I feel lucky to be finally included in one of those.
Something good.
Normally, it's always like, like if you're 13, you've never seen your team not lose a chance or whatever. It's like, fuck those kids. I want to be included in that. And Team USA women's basketball allows me to.
Damn, you're old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know who's older than me? Diana Taurasi, who did not play in the gold medal game, but she's now the most decorated Olympic basketball player with 6 gold medals. And at 42 years old, she is the oldest Olympic gold medalist in men's and women's basketball. Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young became the first athletes to win an Olympic gold medal in both 3-on-3 basketball and 5-on-5 basketball.
You can say whatever you want about Diana Taurasi and not playing. She put on a better Udonis Haslem than Udonis Haslem could have ever done.
Yeah.
Impeccable.
Udonis Haslem walks, so Diana Taurasi could sit.
And Diana Taurasi can sit so that Derek White could just kind of hang out and flip around.
Unreal performance for Team USA, though. And I mean, you want to talk about somebody who probably raised their stock and is going to end up on a WNBA roster sooner rather than later. It's Gabby Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She dominating. So good. So good.
Absolutely insane.
That picture at the end, though, with Brianna Stewart, when she's literally pointing because she sees a trigger feed.
So funny.
Someone was like, it's UConn on UConn crime right there.
And then you had Sabrina Ionescu going up to Kobe Bryant's family, which was really like a really cool moment. Pau Gasol there as well with the whole family. And that was just a super cool moment for that to happen there for them because of how close Sabrina and Kobe were.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's funny. So and not to divert off the previous point, but you look at the dominance that women's athletics have had in core sports that typically don't get as much coverage. Obviously, women's soccer is the superior elite group to the men, while the men are getting better. The women, realistically, if you want to talk about like asserting dominance in Olympic sports, we could talk all we want about the men's national basketball team and 92 and the Redeem team and all these different teams that they've had over the years. And of course, basketball's gotten progressively better across the world than it is in America. But to be able to go from 96 to now, and like Casey was saying, like a lot of people didn't even really watch basketball much until the blow up of college athletics the past couple of years. There are still 7, 8, 9 girls who are going to end up joining the WNBA in the next 2 years that will qualify for an Olympic roster, one of which, cough, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And they're only going to get better and better and better, and they're going to drag everyone behind. It's ultimately going to be the greatest dynasty since the UConn basketball team, probably 8 years ago. It's absolutely filthy, and this is really only the start for this roster to begin with. It's crazy.
I have the list of accomplishments for A'ja Wilson in 2024 as well.
Make me feel bad about myself. Go ahead.
She's won 2 ESPYs. She's led the WNBA in points. Signed her multi-million-dollar deal with Gatorade. She was named an All-Star for the 6th time in her career. She was unveiled on the cover of NBA 2K25. She announced her own Nike signature shoe, and she just led Team USA's women's basketball team to its 8th straight gold medal.
That's wild.
All in the year 2024.
That's insane.
Also, if I'm not wrong, didn't she win the title this past year?
Yeah, she did.
Repeated.
So there you go.
She's literally, she might be on top of the world. She might be the only person on top of the world right now.
I've seen so many people say it, and obviously, like, men's and women's basketball is very different, but like looking at the way that obviously the WNBA has exploded this year, and now obviously the continued dominance of USA women's basketball, like there's an argument to be had that like you can put Asia Wilson in one of the top 10 basketball players, men or women, right now. Just clear cut. Like when you list your top 10, like Asia Wilson deserves to be in the top 10 right now.
Hands down.
I can agree with that.
I agree.
So France gets the silver. Australia takes the bronze for women's basketball. And then as we were talking before we started recording, Sifan Hassan rewrites the record books as it was announced she would be competing in the 5K, the 10K, and marathon in these Paris Games. And Steve, you mentioned before we started recording, this adds up to about 38.6 miles over 9 days. And in Olympic history, only Emil Zatopek of Czechia has earned a medal in the game's 3 longest races. And throughout each race, Hassan maintained the calm but determined style of running that she is known for, finishing with a bronze medal in the 5K and the 10K. And entering the marathon, Hassan said that she just wanted to finish. But then on the final day of the Paris Games, she won the marathon in an Olympic record of 2:22:55. She beat the previous Olympic record set by Ethiopia's Tiki Galana, which is a phenomenal name, at the 2012 London Games, which was 2:23:07. And Hassan said, "I was never more focused in my life until that moment. For 2 hours, I was focused every step."
Yeah, edged out, teased us up by 3 seconds, literally elbowing each other towards the final line. I had mentioned this in the pre-show. Her running over the last 3 days, over those 3 events, she could have circled the city of Paris 1.5 times, or the Olympic Village over 12, which is just like I don't have the A, lung capacity, and B, the desire to even run more than 100 meters. That's why, of course, I was a sprinter in high school and I chose to stop after that. My 8.5 minute mile is also an absolute damn shame comparative to what she did in less than 2.5 hours. I don't know what you have to do to love yourself enough to run all of that. That was absolutely filthy. That's just like disgusting. I have so much like appreciation for people who run anything from the 400 meter, the 800 meter, and then basically anything on from there, because you're basically just like demolishing your body. And then you like take it a step further, like I'm watching like Katie Ledecky in the pool sense, and like watching people do it in a pool compared to doing it just on a track. At least you have water that's like kind of like cooling you off. You're just in the bare heat. You're going. It's like these people are nuts.
Yeah, you're
plus
in the elements.
Pressure on your knees.
Yeah.
Like it just hurts my knees alone watching some of these people run. And I'm just like, my knees would disintegrate.
They would literally just dust away.
Oh.
No, and if you watch the end of the marathon, it was like almost a full out sprint between the final 1 and 2 because they were so close, and there was elbows being thrown. Like it was intense. Yeah, unreal.
That's insane.
Unreal.
So congrats to Sifan Hassan for just a dominant performance, and Kenya's Helen Obiri took the bronze in the marathon. Track cycling, Jennifer Valente is golden for Team USA. The women's Omnium event on Sunday, she wins it for her 5th Olympic medal in 3 games. Valente also won gold in the women's team pursuit earlier in these Olympics. Valente passes Chloe Dygert and Sarah Hammer to become the most decorated medalist in U.S. women's cycling history. And the U.S. won 6 medals in women's cycling events in Paris, which is the most ever in a single Olympics. The 6 combined medals in cycling is the most since 1984. Poland's Daria Pikulik won her first medal in her 3rd Olympics, and Ali Wollaston of Austria won her 2nd medal of these games. Steve, Casey and I have been talking about this a ton. This Olympics more than ever, and I don't know if it's just because of the dominance of social media and everything being in front of our faces and like being reported like on the second now, it feels like this Olympics has produced the most first time insert whatever you want to hear for an athlete, a nation, or both across the board.
I think so. I think it's twofold. And I had a friend tell me the other day, this was like, I don't know, probably 3 days into the Olympics. He goes, "Oh, like it's a shame that like all of the GOATs are done." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he was referring to like when I was a kid watching the Beijing Olympics, like you remember Michael Phelps and Shawn Johnson and all of those historic Olympians. But now we're on to a very new wave of people who, of course, like the new wave happens every 4 years. There's obviously progression in all of this. But you saw Michael Phelps do this for 4 straight Olympics. You're going to see for the first time in 2 years from now, Shaun White's not going to be competing in a Olympics. So you're seeing the new wave of people come in and also a new generation of athletes. I saw a thing the other day. It was like talking about how the progression of Olympic track runners, like sprinters, from 1920 to now, and how like the 1920s, the fastest runner with the technology they had at the time ran like a 10.8, and now everybody in the final was running a sub 9.85. Like the fact that we can progress in that sense, and every single year we're getting better and better and better. We have the debates all the time in core 4 sports here in America. Like, would Babe Ruth be the same if he played in 2024 as opposed to when he was playing with spitballs and smoking cigarettes and eating hot dogs in the dugout? Probably, yeah, because he has the updated 2024 technology to work with. These athletes are substantially stronger and basically superhuman than ever. And maybe it is a matter of social media, but we're seeing so many new faces and so many younger faces too. This Olympics alone has produced a 14-year-old almost medalist, a 16-year-old high school student who from America who's going to go to school in 2.5 weeks with literally a chain unlike any other around his neck. Like the youth that's being thrown into these Olympics every single year now, we're seeing.
We had an 11-year-old win gold in skateboarding this year.
Exactly. Like we're seeing
skateboarding.
we're seeing new things happening every single day, and also with new events that are becoming more mainstream, like breakdancing now finally being included in the Olympics. We're going to see even more events in 4 years. In 4 years from now, in LA, we're going to bring back some of those home-rooted sports too. The fact that we can have all these athletes and just young, even new countries that I'm trying to let me roll through like the first-time medal winners. Like again, St. Lucia winning their first gold. We have folks from Botswana, from Uzbekistan, from these countries that not typically you would find many medal winners, if any. But like I was saying earlier, Uzbekistan had more gold medals this year than Spain. That's a very, very wide spectrum we're talking about here. So it's incredible to see. It might be a matter of social media, but it's also just the fact that every single year we're getting better and better and stronger and smarter and more in depth in the way people approach these games and their nutrition and their overall training.
Yeah, I can also see how you were saying they're younger, but like even with the gymnasts, normally they'd be one and done. And now you have most of that team was 2-time Olympians. Simone was 3-time Olympians. And I mean, Simone isn't considered ancient for her age in that sport, but back in the day, like years ago. So yeah, it is. Oh yeah. The seeing the different training or the technology being able to be used it's showing, and it is cool. I also think, I mean, I don't know what I was gonna say, but yeah.
But again, as you're stating though, it goes even further than just the youth. It's also just longevity thing.
Yeah.
Like Michael Phelps doing 4 straight Olympics was like unheard of. No one's ever done that. It's very rare to ever see that. Again, Kevin Durant won his 4th Olympic medal this go around. Granted, basketball is a little bit different than say gymnastics, but the fact that we're getting the longevity of many of these athletes that we're probably going to even see in 4 years across the world, not just here in America. It's kind of awe-inspiring also to just show like that just shows the competition level that the Olympics can bring is that you have youth that's incredible, but also now you're giving more access to those who are turning the knob from 30 on, who can still compete at this exceptional level.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like somebody like Shelly Ann Fraser-Price in track and field, like she's 37 and was competing in these Olympics, and she's been competing since 2008, which was when Michael Phelps was like bursting onto the scene with his dominance. Katie Ledecky is more than likely running it back in LA again, which will be her 5th Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, like the longevity factor, and I think people realizing that they can continue to perform at the high levels that they're performing at is really cool to watch.
Yeah, it's wild. It's insane.
We also had Team USA earning silver in women's volleyball.
That was a nail biter too.
Italy
that was a shame they lost that.
in 3 sets, 25-18, 25-20, and 25-17 to win gold. This is Italy's first ever gold medal in volleyball and first medal of any color in women's volleyball. Monica Di Gennaro, who is 37 years old, speaking of longevity, earned her first medal in her 4th Olympics. 6 of the players on Italy's team were competing in their in at least their 3rd Olympics. The U.S. earned a silver medal, marking the 5th straight Olympics in which America has won a medal in women's volleyball. Jordan Larson is now the 3rd women's volleyball player and first American volleyball player with 4 Olympic medals. Larson initially retired from Team USA after the Tokyo Olympics before returning in May of 2023, and Brazil took the bronze in women's volleyball. Longevity.
Longevity.
Wrestling. Team USA has one of the best wrestling names for women's wrestling. At 20 years old, Kennedy Blades claimed silver in the women's freestyle wrestling 76.
That's a perfect name.
Olympic debut, Kennedy Blades. What a name. 20 years old, she is the 2nd youngest American woman to win an Olympic wrestling medal. Blades is the 4th American woman to win a wrestling medal in Paris, where we had 2 ladies take gold earlier and then 1 bronze. So Team USA gets a medal of every color in wrestling in some sort. Japan's Yuka Kagami won gold in her Olympic debut, and Japan won a medal in all 6 wrestling events in Paris. Tatiana Renteria of Colombia and Milami de la Caridad Marin Patrile of Cuba both won bronze in their Olympic debuts. Kennedy Blades. That's just all name team. That's
like she could easily become a superhero with a name like that.
Easily. The only thing that would make her name that much better is if she was like a figure skater.
Oh, that'd be the perfect name for figure skating, or like a fencer.
Yes.
That'd be the perfect name.
Nonetheless, she medals and it's Blades of Glory.
Yeah. I mean, that's perfect. Can she maybe do a different? Can she become a dual athlete? I think she has time. She has 2 years, right?
They're gonna throw her on rollerblades in 28 and have her do the ladies roller derby. Blades.
Oh, that would be great.
Is that coming back to LA?
I don't know, but I hope to God it does.
That would be amazing.
That would be absolutely tremendous.
I do wish breakdancing was going to LA. I have to say,
it was pretty cool.
I feel like in LA it'd be perfect. I didn't get to watch the men's, but I watched the women, so I got to witness the most viral moment of the games on TV. Australia. And she finessed her way. I got to give her props. But no, I mean, I've seen so many people be like, this isn't a sport. This isn't a sport. I mean, I'm biased. I grew up dancing. So yeah, it is a sport to me. But I feel like in LA it just would make perfect sense because of the entertainment being in LA and stuff. So I feel like it just makes sense. But
it was awesome that Snoop Dogg ushered in breaking too.
You know, he's taking notes. He's like, who can I hire? Who can I get some work?
I want to know if Snoop Dogg made any money off of this Olympics.
Kyle.
we talked about this a couple episodes ago.
Oh, boy.
Are you ready?
Are you ready to hear what Snoop Dogg made per day for being in Paris?
Now, hold on. Is he making it in endorsement deals, or is it NBC paying him?
I believe it's NBC paying him and him doing the Snoop on the whatever his mini.
I'm gonna get really upset because there were a lot of salaries probably cut and a lot of layoffs to make this happen. Let's hear it.
It's disgusting.
Allegedly, according to reports, per day, Snoop Dogg, including lodging, was making $500 to $1,000 per day.
A lot of PA salaries were right there going straight to Snoop.
Unpaid interns that were paid interns.
Oh my God! Yeah, no, we're cutting your salary. Oh, why? We're going to Snoop. Although I will say this, I'd be honored to kind of do that. To be honest with you, if I were a paid intern and they're like, yeah, we're giving your money to Snoop. That was
anywhere from $8 to $10 million he earned from.
That's absolutely obscene. I want to know how much of the money went to pins.
His pins were sick. And he's also already booked for winter, right?
I
Didn't
think
you
so.
say? Yeah.
Oh God. Get Snoop on a snowboard. Let's see what happens.
Put Snoop in the luge. Like give him.
Yeah.
I want to watch him try all that stuff. That'd be
Have Snoop
hilarious.
bobsledding.
Yeah. No, this.
Snoop curling.
Oh my.
No, he probably like that for some weird.
He would eat that shit up.
Yeah, he would like that. I was saying to my mom, I was like, I won't even need to be paid. If I just paid for my lodging, I would do it for free. Like,
100%.
Get to run around and interact with all these athletes.
So
Yeah, sign me up.
Before we keep the discussion moving, I do want to talk to everybody about our presenting sponsor, and that's our friends over at Shopify, the presenting sponsor of Light the Flame and Olympics podcast. Shopify is the global leader in commerce and e-commerce, and they are going to make sure that your business is going in the right direction, and that's in the green, just like their iconic green shopping bag logo. They are making commerce better for everyone and supporting the next generation of entrepreneurs, the world's biggest brands, and everyone in between. With millions of merchants worldwide, Shopify takes up 10% of total U.S. e-commerce. They have 170 plus countries represented and $444 billion in global economic activity. It can all be done at right in the palm of your hands, because Shopify's app building is easy to use, getting the ability to reach new leads, engage with customers, and data that you can build on right in the palm of your hands. So get your business booming in the right direction with our friends at Shopify. Click the link in the description. Get your website running. If you're a YouTuber and you're in the YouTube Partner Program, you should be linking your merchandise stores through Shopify. It is the most effective way to get your merchandise into the hands of your subscribers. So once again, click the link in the description and get your business going in the right direction with our friends over at Shopify. And big thank you to Shopify for making Olympics coverage possible here from Underground Sports Philadelphia all summer long. Speaking of celebrities, it's not the women, but it is the men. Water polo, Team USA earned bronze in the men's water polo tournament.
They did.
They took down Hungary in a shootout. Goalie Adrian Weinberg delivered an incredible performance, stopping 16 of 24 shots in regulation to slow down Hungary in the shootout. And this is the United States' first Olympic medal in men's water polo since winning silver in 2008. The U.S. have now won a medal in water polo, either men's or women's, at every Olympics since 1996. Serbia won its third consecutive gold medal in men's water polo, and Croatia earned silver and has won 3 medals in the last 4 Olympics. It is wild that, like, as a former swimmer, water polo was like our fun day, but like these guys make water polo look like the most intense thing ever.
Oh, you want to get Owen on here? He'll tell you how much he hates water polo. The kid hates it. No, it's watching that the shootout, how they get so much height out of the water and then to like shoot it with such force is wild to see. But yeah, ask Owen how he likes water polo, and he will go on a rant about how much he hated water polo. So
we used to play water polo in high school. We had like a whole month of like pool sessions that was like part of like our gym schedule, and water polo was so freaking fun, but it was so challenging to do. Then like you watch water polo. I used to watch it in college. Like Fairfield used to have events, and I used to like go for fun. But like you watch like Olympic water polo, and it's like these people are freaking freaks. Dylan Woodhead, who did not do very much in the bronze medal game, the first Olympic family, like trio of brothers and sisters, to all play for a men's or women's U.S. water polo team is the Woodheads. His brother Quinn, his sister Ella, and now him. Like the lineage of just like super babies that are going to be produced from these 3 people that are going to just be water polo extraordinaires is going to be absolutely amazing.
The first family of water polo.
Also, the what's more impressive than the actual like scoring abilities of these guys is the even more impressive part, rather than just the offense, but like the defense of water polo is nasty. It's like these people are actually crazy. I can barely keep myself afloat, let alone carry a ball.
Yeah. I saw a video before. It was like one of the women. She was like before our water polo match, and then it was like after, and the scratches, like they broke skin. The way they just claw at each other.
Oh yeah.
And then there was this other funny video. saw, I think it was on TikTok, and the mom is like saying, like the daughter was asking about water polo, and the mom was like, "What do you mean? Like they're not like treading water and stuff." The mom really thought they were touching their feet were on the bottom of the pool. The daughter's like, "No, like what? They're kicking the entire time."
That's
Oh, feet
amazing. That's so funny. So congrats to Team USA taking home the bronze. There in the modern pentathlon, Hungary's Michelle Gulyas won the women's modern pentathlon competition. Another first, her first ever Olympic medal after finishing 12th at the Tokyo Games. Her 1461 points set a new world record in the last ever iteration in this event's current format. This is the last time equestrian show jumping will be featured in the modern pentathlon, as the discipline will be replaced by a Ninja Warrior style obstacle for the 2028 Los Angeles Games.
Yeah, that makes sense for LA.
Wow. Death taxes and the Americans adding American Ninja Warrior into this shit.
We need,
which is an NBC show. They just want to plug their own show.
We need Akbar in the booth at the Olympics.
We do.
With Gulyas's win, Hungary has now won 10 gold medals in modern pentathlon, breaking a tie with Sweden for the most all time. Elodie Clovel won silver in Rio and won silver again on Sunday in her 4th Olympics. And then Song Sung Min becomes the youngest female medalist in the event at 21 years old and the first ever female medalist from South Korea to compete in modern pentathlon. I can't wait to see this Ninja Warrior course.
You know, it's going to be intense.
And I'm even more curious if there's anybody from the show who is like already training to compete.
Oh, you know,
in the
there
pentathlon.
are.
Well, so here's the thing, and I had this thought the other day. My friend made a really valid point. He's like, the modern pentathlon is essentially just who can be a one-man army.
Mm-hmm.
You can ride horseback. You can battle with a cutlass. You can shoot people. You can run, and you can swim fast. The USA has never had a modern pentathlete finish any better than 7th ever. I want to see a Navy SEAL say, "Fuck it, I'm doing this."
Ugh.
Go out there and just manhandle competition. Think about it. These are the most trained murderers on earth. These people, they can chop you up, slice and dice you. They are good on ground combat, air combat, in the water, on like anywhere. They should be doing this. And honestly, wouldn't be surprised if they also manhandle the American Ninja Warrior course and the high wall.
Yeah, we run up that ramp.
Yeah, we need the ramp wall. Gotta hit that's how it ends. That's gotta be the last thing, and then you gotta hit the buzzer.
Oh my god, yeah.
Take all your effort, to run up that wall.
There's a high wall and a low wall.
And then they have to run across they have to like run over the water so they don't fall in. Make it like Wipeout style though, with like the big red balls. Bring those back, and they have to run across.
It'll be Akbar and Gronk in the booth.
Yeah. Wait, wasn't the other guy that does American Ninja Warrior on the Peacock or on Gold Zone broadcast?
He might have been. What is his name? I'm blanking on his name.
He was on Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
The host of American Ninja Warrior. Matt Eisman.
Yeah, he's also he was on.
Yeah, he was on Gold Zone with Jack Collinsworth.
Mm-hmm.
Eisman.
Yeah, he was on
on American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah. Make them both. Yeah, please bring them back.
And I mean, Akbar just moved to LA because he's going to be on Good Morning Football, like the new iteration.
It's pretty perfect.
So let's make that happen. We need Matt Eisman in the booth.
Coming up next on Olympics.
Coming up next on Modern Pentathlon.
I can see it now. You better bookmark this. If they show it like that in 4 years.
Need it.
You know who I would love they bring back, and I've been vouching for this guy forever. I was a little bit too young for the generation, but I know you two would definitely like be in this. Back when Nickelodeon had Guts.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mike O'Malley. Bring that man back.
Yes.
America's treasure.
Yes.
Or we
was
should
a
just
good
reintroduce
show.
Guts into the Olympics. Just have them do
Guts,
the
Just have
let's
Guts.
Hidden Temple. Like, let's
Nah,
make it
dude,
happen.
All those shows.
Dude, what was it, the aggro crag, the final like big like mountain they used to climb, throwing shit at you like it's Mario versus Donkey.
Need that. Didn't they used to do like the like on Nickelodeon they had, and Disney Channel did it too. They had like their version of like the Olympics, and they had like all their like kid actors and everything.
Disney
competing.
Channel, the games.
Yeah. Apparently, they had 2 interviews like almost consecutively, over like a week, and it was Nick Jonas and it was Dylan Sprouse, and they had Nick Jonas was like, yeah, the Disney Channel games was like Love Island on crack, and Dylan Sprouse was like, no, it was not.
He was like, I don't know what games he was playing.
13 years old. I was 8 when I was on the show. I don't know what Nick Jonas is doing at 13 years old. Oh, Selena Gomez. But no. I was like 9, dude.
Wearing that purity ring. Jonas Brothers.
Talk about Camp Rock.
The chastity belts everywhere.
Literally.
That's unreal.
Nick Jonas is just telling us that he was an absolute sex fiend in middle school.
Hey,
I know exactly what interview you're talking about. Dylan Sprouse's face is like, I don't know what he was doing.
Oh my god,
that's so funny.
It's so funny.
Kotaro Kiyuka of Japan won the wrestling men's freestyle 65 kilogram in his Olympic debut, and Japan finished the games with 11 wrestling medals, the most they have won at a single Olympics. Aless Andrews becomes the first New Zealander to win 3 cycling medals in a single Olympics when she won the women's sprint on Sunday. And with 4 career medals, she is the most decorated cyclist in New Zealand Olympic history. If you become your country's most decorated Olympian in anything, like you're just I don't even know what to describe you as. You're just on top of the world.
You're like royalty within your
literally. Like you cannot tell me to do anything.
No, like you should walk into a restaurant, you don't have to pay. What do you want?
I am better than you at everything.
Let me walk in with the medals around my neck and arms. Like that picture of Michael Phelps.
Harry Laverson becomes the Netherlands' first summer Olympian to win 5 career gold medals after winning the men's Karen. His 6 Olympic medals are the most of any Dutch male cyclist in history. Li Wenwen of China won gold in the women's weightlifting 81 plus kilogram to 178 plus kilogram class to give China 5 weightlifting golds in Paris. This is the 7th straight time that China has won the most weightlifting medals at a single Olympics. Denmark won its 3rd straight Olympic gold medal when it defeated Germany to claim gold in the men's handball tournament. And then we have our final medal count, which is brought to you by our friends over at FOCO, the leaders in forever collectible distribution, including officially licensed Team USA apparel and collectibles from their tumbler mugs, coffee mugs, and now available for pre-order, the ever-elusive collaboration of the century. It is your Team USA Snoopy bobbleheads. Get them while they're hot. Click the link in the description and get your officially licensed Team USA collectibles and apparel now. And big thank you to FOCO for sponsoring our medal count all summer long. Once again, click that link in the description. Get your officially licensed collectibles from Team USA and all major sports leagues from our friends at FOCO. Once again, Team USA finished the 2024 Paris Olympics with the most medals. They win the whole thing. I feel like Drake and Josh's grandpa every Olympics. Just champion USA.
Mr.
USA.
Nichols!
Put him in the modern pentathlon. He dominates.
That man can hide under the table better than anybody.
They finished the 2024 Paris Olympics with 126 medals, the 3rd highest total ever, and the most since 1984's Los Angeles Games, which was 174 medals. This is the 8th consecutive games that the U.S. has won the overall medal count. And I was looking into this too. There's only been one time this century that Team USA did not win the gold medal count, and that was in 2008.
Beijing.
The damn Redeem Team. What the fuck, guys? I don't mean to get political in any way, shape, or form. I just found out that the Chinese would have actually won more gold medals than the U.S. Remember when, like 4 or 5 days ago, there was the whole debate over the Algerian women's boxer who everyone thought was transgender, but actually wasn't. She won the gold in boxing and defeated a Chinese woman. So the USA almost lost the Olympics had there actually been more of a issue in this whole boxing scheme than once thought. So waiting for the outrage on social media to just blow up and be like,
That's so funny. I'm so happy that she won the gold and just like
Yeah.
good for her. Yeah,
like
shut
4 middle
everybody up.
fingers to everyone.
Oh yeah.
And now
That's
woke
great.
up this morning and she's taking legal action against
So
the
Good.
start of the bullying and harassment she had to deal with. Yeah.
good for her.
Just go. It's good. That was the most emotional. I saw it on social media she won, so I ran over to Peacock, turned on that ceremony because I wanted to see the medal ceremony. It might have been the most emotional medal ceremony out of the entire Olympics.
That's so awesome.
I will say this: the one thing that I've learned about this Olympics, and I don't think, and again going back to our talk about the social media, there hasn't been nearly as much controversy as there ever has been this go around. And I'm shocked by that because it's 2024. We've had social media for 12, 13 years now, and the mainstream that everyone and their mother has a smartphone. It's crazy how in 2024 and everything is paying past every 30 seconds. The second you open up your phone, you see all of this, and it's a thread on thread on thread of everybody commenting on it. This year, where there was a lot of controversy and a lot of talking points and a lot of really good, but also a lot of really bad, which I feel like maybe I'm being naive to it, but in years past, we haven't really seen that.
Yeah, it feels like most of the controversy was more related to like doping scandals.
True.
Yeah, in the past. Yeah.
This though is actually like true like social issues, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that no one actually likes what the French did and the Seine and everyone trying to poop in it and everything else. But aside from that,
never forget the poop river.
Long live the poop river.
We have the American athletes that won 4 or more medals or 3 or more golds in Paris. Tori Husk, Simone Biles, Reagan Smith, Katie Ledecky, who did complete the gold, silver, and bronze. Kate Douglas, Gretchen Walsh, and Gabby Thomas all took home those 4 or more medals or 3 or more golds in Paris. And the countries that won their first ever Olympic medals in Paris include Cape Verde, Dominica, St. Lucia, Albania, and the refugee Olympic team.
Let's go, the refugees. I love
that.
The overall medal count, though, ends with USA with 126, China with 91. Great Britain wins the ever illustrious fight for third place with 65. France finishes in fourth with 64. Australia with 53. Japan with 45. Italy with 40. The Netherlands with 34. Germany with 33. And South Korea rounds out the top 10 with 32. The other story that's still ever ongoing from these Olympics, Casey, I'm happy you're here, is this whole, you want to talk about controversy, everything happening with Jordan Childs and floor routine. You mentioned before we started recording that U.S. Gymnastics was the one that filed the...
Yeah, so this morning... or yesterday it came out that they were saying that it was going to be, she must give back her medal, which has never happened in history or gymnastics history. And then the Olympic and Paralympic Committee put out a thing saying that they would be looking into it more and filing appeal and going against, because what they didn't really understand what happened. And then USA Gymnastics put out a statement today saying, the whole thing is saying that her coach, Jordan Childs' coach, submitted the inquiry request at 1 minute and 4 seconds after the score was published, and it needs to be a minute. So she was late by 4 seconds. So USA Gymnastics posted this statement literally right before we got on to record, basically saying we have the receipts. They have a statement saying, or they have the timestamps of a video of her coach going over to the table at 47 seconds after the score was posted, followed by a second statement 55 seconds after the score was originally posted. So They say they didn't have that video when everything was first coming to light, which is also what the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee was saying, that they didn't feel U.S. was given the appropriate amount of time to defend themselves or come back, fight against it. So, yeah, USA Gymnastics has now submitted this evidence with the video timestamps saying, yeah, it's Jordan Childs. So this is not going away. I mean, we just watched the figure skating team get their gold medal from the last Winter Games. So this is not going away anytime soon. And it sucks completely. I feel for Jordan Childs. It sucks for the Romanian athletes. Just all around, the three of them have been put into such a uncomfortable situation. Because at the end of the day, once it finally gets settled, that medal I feel like is tarnished.
Yeah.
But I know people were saying, like, USA Gymnastics, this was the redemption tour. Jordan has already announced she's going back to UCLA for 2 years. So, and she's a star over there. She's consistent over there. So people are like, give her that time to be consistent and she can come back for revenge, maybe in LA, and get that medal that she fully deserves. So, but yeah, hopefully. But like, we're not hearing, that's not the end of it, unfortunately. No, not at all.
But you know what? I will say this, and shout out to Jordan Childs for being so cool about it in this time of angst. She's really kind of putting the gymnastics team motto to good use. Fuck around and find out. She's getting on everyone's asses, and good for her. And honestly, 4 years from now, we're gonna have a show.
Oh yeah. I think if it was any other country, it would be a show, but it's the fact that it's a U.S. athlete coming home to a U.S. Games. Like, if she can go back, she can get back to the L.A. Games. She steps foot on that floor to do her routine. It will be.
And the fact that it's in L.A. and she's at UCLA.
Mm-hmm. She's like their star. Her floor routines go viral every time she's there. But like, it's even like seeing the other athletes that are like supporting her, like LeBron James posted, Halliburton posted, like all like these big names are sticking by her because I'm not gonna say she's robbed. Because if you look at the tapes, it all comes down to the judges royally screwed up. You can look back at the replays, none of them were out of bounds. Like the girl that they said was out of bounds for Romania, she was not out of bounds. But like, it's literally all down to the judges. FIG needs to figure something out because they can't keep messing stuff up like this when they're the head of gymnastics worldwide. So,
but you know what? At the end of the day, this goes for basically every single major committee across every sport and there's always drama, whether it be the FIG, the IOC in general. Even again, going back to the boxing statement, FIFA has also been obviously in hot water forever. FIBA has also been in hot water forever. Like this should be nothing new. At the end of the day, if you are the peak committee for the greatest athletes on earth, at the very least, I would hope you get your shit right.
Yeah.
Which it's so frustrating to be an athlete in these sports. When also you look at gymnastics, it's not like the NBA players who can go back and just play in the NBA. Like your livelihood is to be a gymnastics athlete to get to an Olympics.
Yeah.
Because then after that, you don't do anything. Like that's it. That's your life. So the fact that they can't even get it together is very upsetting.
Yeah, I think people also have an issue because like the IOC, when back at the Winter Games with figure skating, they let that Russian figure skater finish competing when we all knew that she failed the drug test to begin with. So like, but they didn't fully take away her medal right away. But they're basically the letter said she must return her bronze medal. People are like, if I was Jordan Childs, I would have chucked that out of the plane over the Atlantic. We could like take it out of my dead cold hands. Like, yeah, I
forget who it was too. There was something that happened, like not to this scale, but like a similar thing where an athlete was requested to return their medal and that athlete didn't return it. So then the person who was supposed to win the bronze, they sent them like a commemorative coin.
Yes, I did see that too. I can't remember what it is, but I did see that. But yeah, no, it's just heartbreaking all around. And the fact that it was the last event of the gymnastics, and like Jordan, I also think they do their like schedule of routines or like who goes next randomly. So it's the fact that Jordan went last. If Jordan didn't go last, I don't know what this issue would have looked like. Like if it would have been an issue, I don't know. But yeah, it's just unfortunate all around. But it was that not going away anytime soon.
I think one of the coolest things that I'll take away from this Olympics is like, not that it was like dystopian, like that's not the word, but like this Olympics felt like there was so much more camaraderie for each like teams and everything. It felt like a spectacle in like the best way possible. Like Tokyo it was cool that it happened, but it was still off the heels of like a global pandemic. And, you know, it was a year later and it was just all out of sorts, different time zone for so many people. So it was like even more loopy than what we have been with just the 5 hour, 6 hour difference with Paris. But like seeing all the athletes together and like supporting one another, and like you see the U.S. women's soccer team and the U.S. women's basketball team kind of replicating the men's basketball team photos when they win gold. And it just felt like everyone was like more close knit, especially with Team USA, because we're exposed to that obviously here in America. But like seeing how supportive everyone was, and you see current and former athletes going and supporting at different sports. You know, early on, Anthony Edwards going and watching the table tennis teams, and you have Carmelo Anthony like jumping over the barricades yesterday at the gold medal game, and just so many different moments that it was like, for the first time in a long time, this felt like such like a uplifting Olympic Games.
Yeah, and I even feel like, not to bring up gymnastics again, but like I felt like there you even saw between the athletes in the different countries. I mean, you have that whole podium from the floor where they're bowing down to Rebecca Andrade because she is basically Simone Biles. She's that good. So there was definitely more the sportsmanship, camaraderie all around was definitely, I feel like, more present than it has been maybe in the past. But also maybe that goes back to our social media conversation from earlier. But yeah, no, it was very cool. Very, very cool to see.
It's also one of those moments where for a lot of these athletes, you don't really get the opportunity to be in that team setting as much as you would. And then also, again, like I think it also does go to the social media aspect. We're constantly finding new things to point out and follow along with. And now we're getting to a point in social media and the world of like media coverage as well that you can get so hyper-focused into one thing so easily with, like, you go on Peacock and every single event is streaming all across the time, when you go back 12 years when we're watching back in Beijing or even 2012, and you're basically only watching the live coverage on NBC. There isn't a mass exodus of channels that you can go to. So to be able to hyper focus in on things, and you're able to have more and more coverage of the specifics and everyone watching every little thing, you do notice those connections. And it's also well more documented that athletes more than ever now are a lot more vocal on social than they ever have been ever. So to be able to have, for example, LeBron James put out a statement about Coco Gauff losing in whatever it was, the quarterfinal or semifinal, and he was like I'm proud of her, I stand with her, like amazing effort from her. Like that 12 years ago you wouldn't really see. You wouldn't see it even probably 8 years ago. You're seeing athletes finally break out of their shells and ultimately, for lack of a better term, not give a shit what anybody else says. And
look at Kevin Durant on Twitter.
Exactly. like put out your opinion, say what you want, and support those around you. And at the end of the day, it's the Olympics. You're the national basketball team, you're the gymnastics team, you are the cycling team, but at the end of the day, everyone is rooting for the mass group. And it's even more than that. It's not even just rooting for your own country, it's rooting for everybody. Like and I watch it a lot because considering I watch all 4 days of golf. But like you watch these guys who are fighting tooth and nail in a sport that, while the Olympics should be a team aspect, it's very much still individualized in golf. But you even saw it on the final hole on 18 on Sunday. John Rahm was blowing it. Tommy Fleetwood had an awful shot on 18. But Xander Schauffele, who also dipped out of it in the final hole, the final group, the three of them like had a collective hug. They were like, hey, like, we tried our hardest. Like, God bless you guys, love you guys. That's how it is. Yeah. So it's so much better when everybody in the world can get along, and it shows that you can take this even past sports. The idea that camaraderie across the world is so important, and amidst all of the struggles that we deal with, whether it be the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel-Palestine, like these issues are all secondary to just being good people. And the Olympics kind of just shows you that one good deed to one other person can be life-changing for many. We're getting powerful here on this show.
I agree. Yeah. That was a great little speech there.
Thank you. No, but like it's true. Like we don't give enough credit to like how much sports binds people. It's absolutely ridiculous how we have these situations, and then like you even go I remember watching like the Copa America, and they had it at MetLife, and it was when I think it was Argentina. I forgot who they even played, but like there was a fight like in the stands, and I'm like, how can you let this happen over sports? This is something that should be like binding countries together and not separating us. And so sports just has this like chokehold because of mass media, and people are all over it. And no matter where you are, the one thing that you can do to get rid of the issues in your life is go play a sport, go take a walk, go run, go cycle, go and play basketball, football, rugby, whatever your passion is, and go do it.
Yeah, we saw at this Olympics. Somebody had a venture capitalist job in New York.
Hell yeah,
and then became an Olympic gold medalist.
Dude, that woman, man. Oh, wow.
Don't give me hope.
Well, we've already said we're starting training now for CFO Margie to get in the 20-kilometer walk race. Steve, can you imagine my mom being in the Olympic Village?
That would be incredible. To be honest with you,
she would provide content. She would give us the content.
I also wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if KB watched the first day of swimming and was like, I'm getting back in the pool. We're getting ready.
Man.
LA 28, see me 200-meter butterfly. Let's go.
Gonna take that Michael Phelps record.
Leon Marchand doesn't have anything on me. Here we go.
Let's be honest. I was watching it and I'm like, I can beat the worst player in the golf field. No fucking shot I do that.
Also, I think the fun part about this Olympics more so than ever, because there are so many different ways to consume it. The different approaches from media coverage was spectacular. From
so good.
Snoop Dogg to Boots on the Ground with Flavor Flav to the entire Sesame Street cast just absolutely dominating in a way that I think is just so unprecedented, to Keenan and Kevin Hart, and then obviously Mike Tirico in primetime, like the unbelievable amount of ways. Plus Gold Zone, like what a brilliant idea.
Shout out to,
like every path made possible to cover these Olympics for every age demo was brilliant. And I swear if they don't bring Elmo, Cookie Monster, and Abby Kadabi back for 2028, we have a problem.
Oh, the whole gang will be there.
Yes.
Okay.
We need Big Bird on site. We need Snuffy on site. Like, where's Grover? I saw he's filling out his resume. Like, he needs to be there.
They will all be there.
We need to also bring on the rest of the Muppets as well. Like, we can't just leave them out.
Yeah, we need Guy Smiley in the booth. We need Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, we need them all.
I just want Waldorf and Statler in the booth to commentary on the.
We need them in primetime with Tirico.
Oh please, dude, them with Tirico would be an absolute show.
Oh, these athletes stink.
I could picture it now. Them doing the commentary of the swimmers in the Seine. Oh, what's that smell? I don't know. What is it? It's the river. And the people.
It's the river.
Oh.
But also, I think, and to your point with how the mass media and the consumption has gotten so big, we also have to give a shout out to the people who, as three people who like want to work and live and eat and breathe the journalistic mentality and podcasting and media. Like, I had friends who work at NBC out in Stanford, like working 17, 18-hour days. Punch cards are so long. My one friend, Matt, was sleeping on a literal couch in the cafeteria. Like getting like ready for things. He didn't want to leave the office. He was like, I don't want to miss a second of the action. If I need an hour power nap because I can't watch the volleyball semifinal, but I got something going on in an hour, I'm going to be there for it. So shout out to all of them, like everybody involved in being able to actually give us that mass media communication and intake from across the world was just impeccable.
The social teams, the graphics teams, like top-notch stuff across.
Those unpaid production interns where all their money going to Snoop, like big time folks.
Unreal. I also love that people were tweeting the picture of Steph hitting that shot over Victor Wembanyama yesterday, and said put it in the Louvre. And then someone was like, I don't think anything Team USA related will be allowed in the Louvre for the next 4 years.
No, absolutely not.
That image with the tweet quote, "Gonna tell my son this is Thanos and Captain America." Get at me.
I also saw that apparently the French McDonald's account was like joking, saying they were going to take their curry sauce off the menu for the next 4 years.
I wouldn't be surprised. Not be surprised.
That's some like Rudy Gobert shit.
That picture of Wemby looks like he's about to like serve a volleyball.
Yeah, I was saying it looks like it's a volleyball game, not.
Like if you
Basketball
crop
game.
Steph out of that, it looks like he's about to hit a volleyball like 1,000 yards.
Can we also acknowledge like the French should put Victor Wembanyama in a men's volleyball like setting? Like, look, if America can throw Chase Buttinger out there, imagine Wemby just like right there on the line. His eyes are already over the net. He's ready to go.
He would just headbutt the ball.
Put him on the French soccer team. Him and Mbappe.
He'd be like the Vine kid that gets hit in the head with the basketball. He's like, yeah.
Victor Wembanyama, now the new age Scott Sterling. Oh, he did it again.
What an Olympics it was. We will have one final podcast live stream for the Olympic Games from Paris for closing ceremonies in prime time. But once again, thank you to everybody who has subscribed, watched, listened to every episode we put out. This was a very fun challenge for all of us, putting out daily content really for the first time in our company's history and covering these Olympic Games in a way that it came together very quickly, but successfully all at the same time. And it was a ton of fun to just have like intercompany, collaboration with so many people that traditionally don't get to work together all the time. So it was an unreal success. And once we get the full-fledged numbers and everything, I'm going to put together just like a mini media package to showcase to everybody, because the numbers speak for themselves. And it is so hard for a new podcast to really break through in a way that this one did in such a niche category of content. So it was really cool to kind of just watch it all unfold in real time. So to everybody who listened, subscribed, viewed, liked a video, interacted, shout out to Flavor Flav, who knows we exist. Just thank you. It means a lot to us. And we're not done. In a couple weeks, we're going to be covering the Paralympic Games as well, to keep the momentum rolling. And those athletes are just as talented as the ones we saw here in the Olympic Games. So we're very excited for that. And then season 2 will officially start in 2026 with the Winter Olympic Games, which I believe are in Italy. And it's going to be a lot of fun to, just have like a seasonal kind of time capsule covering the Olympic Games. And I mean, what a way for us to get started than with the Paris Olympic Games. It was absolutely phenomenal.
So much fun.
So once again, keep subscribing to the pod on Apple and Spotify, because this show's not going anywhere. It means a lot when you guys do subscribe. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. And of course, follow us on social. On Twitter, it's at LTF Olympics, and on Instagram and Threads, it's at Light the Flame Pod. And if you want to watch the show, you can watch it on the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Leave a like on the video. Leave a comment on your thoughts on everything that happened at the 2024 Paris Olympic Games this summer. And be a friend, tell a friend, share the channel with anyone you know. And we'll be back with one final live stream for the Paris Olympic Games, probably seeing Tom Cruise launch himself in the most unprecedented stunt ever. And that will be a bow on the Summer Olympic Games for 2024. And we'll be back in a couple weeks on this feed to start our Paralympic coverage, which begins at the end of August and goes through September 8th. But until then, for Casey and Steve, I'm KB, and this has been another edition of Light the Flame, an Olympics podcast presented by Underground Sports Philadelphia and Shopify. Thanks again for tuning in for all of our coverage from Paris, and we'll see you on the next one.